Hi, and welcome to another edition of OnsideSA, the soccer show that lets you know what's going on. And Budge and I are going to tell you about what's happening with regards to the last one standing. And we'll obviously have our international pundit, Stevie Braham, coming through from London. He'll be happy when the clocks go back on the 28th, Sunday morning. It'll only be an hour's time difference. We have to wake him up every week. Budge, before we speak to Stevie, let's talk about it. It starts
next Saturday, Paul.
Next Saturday, got
next
you.
Saturday,
Okay, so we will be talking about.
Yeah, everybody will know. Yeah,
but just some interesting pointers. 108.
108 left, Paul. Going into round 6.
Okay, that's it. So it's going to be the second.
Yeah, the second, Paul. The next 2 rounds are the 2nd of April, and obviously the following week there's 8th, 9th, and 10th. There's a game on the Friday.
Now, as I say, it's, of the 108, 12 ladies left. That's very good. I'm going to mention them because they've done a good job. And the first name I mentioned, Carol Whitehead, the colours must be so disappointed. He can't go around, and Carol's cruising through. I believe she's not well, Budge, and I thought so with her.
Yeah, definitely.
Carol hasn't been well. Renee Roos, always up there, showing George up. Money, George won it.
Yeah.
George has won it. Ashley Berger, well done. Raquel Quintas, correct me if I get their names wrong. Norma Ward, Amy Lafferty, Pauline Young.
Yes.
Georgia Harito, is that Georgia?
Georgia Harito, yeah. And her sister Katerina, yeah.
You know them?
They're Johannesburg girls, Paul.
Okay. Katerina Harito, is that sister? Okay, lovely. I didn't realize they were sisters. Tara Lynn Rushton from overseas. Montana Werners and Tennille Werners. So the Werner girls. Lawrence got beaten in the final last time.
He got beat, yeah.
So they're coming well, these. Keep an eye on the Werners. Yeah. Okay, and then what's interesting, international entrance, but this is because the more internationals we get, the better it is. Ashley Rushton, who's now he's at the World Cup in Dubai.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's gone to racing. Denver from Mark, I don't know.
That's part of the Farid clan in the Bahamas.
Oh, is he in the Bahamas?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Steve Griffiths, he's quite clever. He puts 5 up, and they're around. Where's he?
Steve's in Singapore.
Singapore, that's right. Derek Ramsey's in Wales.
Yeah.
I can't believe he's still in. I can't believe it. Tweels Horseman's in London.
Yeah.
Calvin Cass.
That's Tony Cass's son. He's in Scotland, I think.
Scotland. Oh, we're covering the whole of UK. Nigel Swinbank, where's he in the world?
Oh, he's all over the world.
All over the world.
He was at the West Indies at the first test. He was at Cheltenham last week, so I'm sure he's back.
Stevie Potter's London.
Yeah, moved to London, yeah.
Micah Bood's London.
Yeah.
Steve Braham's London. Can't believe Steve Braham's still in. He's our pundit.
What's wrong with that, Paul?
But when
Paul, as long as he doesn't use Tottenham, he's got a chance.
He's got a chance. And then you've got the 4 former winners. This is always interesting. These are former winners who are still in. No one's won it twice.
No.
Obviously, then no one's won it back-to-back.
Yeah.
Hassan Maul.
Reigning champ.
Lance White, the postman.
The postman's still in.
The postman rigged twice. Sean Phillips, Shogun.
Sure, he's always done well.
Yeah, and Guillaume Nell. Well done to him. So that's it. Okay. Right, let's get Stevie B on the line. Stevie, are you there? Stevie?
I'm here. Good morning.
Morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm all right, thank you.
Okay.
Still excited to be through to round 6.
Well, don't go. You got another week to gloat. You and Mark Kabuda, are you having a meeting next week to discuss
you and Bird and Derek Ramsey should all have a meeting.
Yeah,
different teams.
I was going to say we've got our own little competition going on. So.
And believe it or not, Paul's still in, so a lot of bragging rights between the 4 of you.
Yeah, a lot of bragging rights.
Steve, talking about bragging rights, what's the latest with the purchase of Chelsea?
Well, so my understanding is that the American Rain Group, who are organising the sale on behalf of Abramovich, are going to be shortlisting their bid in the next week or so. And at that point, then they will then decide, depending on who they feel is the best bidder, to proceed with. They're talking about this. This could all happen, and the sale could all go through within about 4 to 6 weeks. Which I guess for Chelsea's sake, they obviously need it to go through quickly, because the one thing they can't afford is for it to drag on into the summer when they're obviously the sanctions are in place and they can't buy or sell anybody.
Yeah. Okay, so you think by the end of the season, well, it's only fair. I saw something, the fans couldn't travel to away games. It's one thing punishing Roman Abramovich, but you can't punish the fans.
Yeah, I mean, they are saying now that it is quite likely that Chelsea will be able to have fans at the FA Cup semi-final. I guess because the tickets could be sold by the FA rather than Chelsea itself. So the club, Chelsea, don't benefit from it. But, it's a bit of a crazy situation. They can't sell tickets for matches now, home or away. Which is sort of a little bit bizarre. So it needs to be sorted out. It needs to be told. There are some fairly significant sort of billionaire consortiums involved. Chelsea are a global brand, and there's no shortage of bidders.
Steve, I've got a question for you. I don't understand the whole situation. If you ever look at the bank balances for Manchester United with a 73,000 seater stadium, and you come to Chelsea and there's a debt of 1.5 billion?
Yeah, that's money owed to Abramovich. That's the money that he has put into the club. But he has said that he will waive that debt. So essentially, they'll start with no debt. But they won't have a huge amount of money in the bank because he's been bankrolling it. So anybody that takes over, as well as having the money to buy the club, they've got to show they have enough to put in as working capital to fund the club, fund the wages, because they have a wage bill of something like £28 million a month.
So Steve, let me get this right. The guy with the group that buy it come in, they start from scratch. They don't give 1.5 billion to Roman. And they've got to prove that they've got enough money to let the club function. And then do you think all the restrictions will be lifted after that?
Yes, they will. I mean, obviously, if it's, and one would assume, obviously, it's totally unconnected to Abramovich, then sanctions will be lifted. So, there's no reason for the sanctions to carry on at that point. But, they have to have the wherewithal and the money to keep the club going. They are, even irrespective of all, and it may well be at that point, the sponsors will then back, because at the moment, a number of their main sponsors have suspended their sponsorship. So, Chelsea have a real cash flow sort of issue at the moment.
Steve, another quick one. Because the British have frozen his assets now, both these yachts have now moored in Turkey, one at Marmaris and one at Bodrum, and he's put in an offer to buy a Turkish club.
So I saw that, and that would be, Turkey have no sanctions. They do a lot of trade with Russia. They have no sanctions against Russia, and they have no sanctions against Abramovich. So, if he wants to still be involved in football, he's going to have to, as you say, he's going to have to find a club and a country where there's no issue of sanctions. And if he wants to, to do that, and obviously the Turkish league is not quite the same as the Premier League, he could buy a club for a lot less. And put a lot less in and get the end. So he might be a smaller club than looking at buying one of the main Galatasaray's or Beşiktaş's. So, but that's up to him. I mean, if he, I guess ultimately, if he wants to do that, there's nothing that anyone can do about it here.
True. Something that can be done, Steve. Man United search for a manager. I think they're jumping the gun.
Yeah.
I don't know. We had a young lady, I think she's from Durban, Melissa Reddy, reporting about it. Said they've got 4 people in mind. But if Ten Hag, I think, wants it, I think he'll get it.
Why?
Well, I think, as things stand, I think you're right. I mean, that's what I'm hearing. But it does look as if in the last few days, Erik Ten Hag has become clear favourite ahead of Pochettino.
Yeah.
So it remains to be seen. I think everybody knows this has to be done as soon as possible.
Yeah.
It's not helping the club at all to have this, this uncertainty. We really need to get this sorted out properly by the end of the season. And my understanding is Ajax would want about 4 million in compensation. They wouldn't stand in his way. There's quite a good relationship between Ajax and Man U. Yeah. So I think if they wanted him, I don't think there would be any problems.
Steve, Ten Hag, when you look at his CV, is it strictly Ajax?
Look, he hasn't got experience in the Premier League, and obviously Pochettino has. I guess that's the one thing they've got to weigh up. Those are the two sort of clear favourites. I'm sure if they wanted Pochettino, he'd come. I'd be very surprised because I don't see him staying at PSG much longer anyway. Obviously, they sort of bowed out of the Champions League, and that's really their main aim. So, but I think one way or the other, they've got to just get on with it and do it, because this season, if they don't finish fourth, then it's been a disastrous season for them.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, the 74% win rate in the Dutch league, playing against nobody. But let's see what happens, Paul. But we definitely need somebody in charge. Steve, massive games tonight, World Cup playoffs. I know Scotland were scheduled to play Ukraine, but because of the war, that's been postponed till June. And also Russia was thrown out. They were due to play Poland, and Russia was thrown out. So those two games won't go. But a couple of big games. Wales hosting Austria. How do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, really good game. I think. Obviously the press here are sort of bigging Wales up. Wales are hopeful that Gareth Bale wasn't fit to play in Sunday in El Clasico, but will be fit enough to play for Wales. But as we all know, he's made it very clear that Wales is his passion, and I think he'd sooner play for them than Madrid if he had his choice. I think it's going to be a tough game. Austria are a decent side, and they showed that in the Euros. I think they're going to be a hard team to beat. I think the only thing in Wales' favour is that it is at home, passionate crowd behind them. I think it'll be very close. I don't think there'll be much in it. You could see it going all the way to extra time and even penalties. Yeah. But I think it's going to be, I think if Wales win this, it'll be good going. But I just have this feeling that Austria just might be a little bit too strong for them.
Yeah, me too. Steve, Sweden, the Czech Republic, that should be a cracker as well.
Yeah, I think that'll be a good game. But Sweden are strong at home.
Yeah.
I think that they might just be a little bit too strong for the Czech Republic. They don't travel that well away. I just fancy, with players like Isak up front, I think they'll be a little bit too strong. I think it'll be close, but I think Sweden will just edge it.
Yeah, the Italians should beat North Macedonia.
You would expect them to. North Macedonia have done incredibly well to get this far, but you would expect Italy to be, at home particularly, would just be a little bit too strong, and I think they will go through.
Yeah, the Portuguese against Turkey, that'll be a bit tight, you think?
Yeah, I think that's a good game. Yeah, I mean, again, Turkey don't travel as well. Portugal at home, you would expect them to win this. It's Ronaldo's last hurrah in the World Cup. And you look at the players that they have at their disposal, Portugal, you'd be surprised if they didn't go through. I fancy them to win this one and go through.
And an early shot, it should be Portugal hosting Italy on Tuesday. Who do you fancy
tremendous.
Through
well,
there?
I mean, the truth is, this is the sort of game that wouldn't be able to place as a World Cup quarter or even semi-final, really. Yeah. Both it would, for either team to go out, will be a shock. But again, Portugal at home, I think you've got to fancy them. But Italy are as we know, they don't, even when they don't play well, they scrape through games. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a really good game. I think Portugal will be favourites, but they're going to have to play well because Italy aren't going to want to. It's so rare for Italy to miss out in a World Cup. So, I expect them both to go through, and I just fancy Portugal at home might just be too strong.
It'll be Ronaldo's roster on Qatar. Steve, on Saturday we've got several internationals we'll go through before we preview the League One. Finland, Iceland.
Yeah, I think that big decent game. Finland are a decent side at home. I think they'll stage that.
All right, Croatia, Slovenia. The game's been played in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I still think that Croatia would be a little bit too strong. Again, I haven't seen sort of team news, but if they've got most of their players available, Croatia, you'd expect them to be a little bit too strong for Slovenia.
Yeah, I saw they did have all their main players. The manager was saying that they're going to use 2 games as preparation, different formations and so on. Now, Belgium have made massive changes. De Bruyne and all the guys aren't playing. Can you see the Republic of Ireland causing an upset?
Well, I think this was a game that if Belgium played, their strongest available side, then you'd expect them to win comfortably. But if they're resting players, the Republic of Ireland got half a chance. I think Belgium might still be too strong, but maybe the Republic could hold them. I can't see them winning somehow, the Republic. Yeah. They haven't shown much form at all in the last couple of years. But, I think, again, surprisingly, if Belgium are resting players, really, because as we know, they've only got a handful of games to, in preparation before the World Cup itself. But I think it's either Belgium or a draw there.
Yeah, I just think that Belgium have got so many players involved with top teams. Yeah. Man City and Real Madrid and that. I think he's gone easy on the players. England, Switzerland.
Yeah, it'd be a good game. I mean, the Swiss, I think that's a good test for England. The Swiss do well in competitions, and when England have played them in recent years, they've been close games.
Yeah.
I think England should edge it, but I think it will be close. It'll be a good test for them.
And last but not least, the Netherlands hosting Denmark.
Yeah, this should be a good game. I think the Netherlands should be a little bit too strong, especially at home. And I fancy them to win, but no more than one goal. So I think either, Denmark possibly could hold them, but I just fancy Netherlands to be a little bit too strong at home.
Yeah, Netherlands play the Germans on Tuesday at home, so maybe they'll have one eye on that. Steve, you're going to go on to the English League One, obviously with the internationals. There have been a few games postponed. The betting will come up on our screen now.
League One got some postponements.
Yeah.
Are there players playing in League One that are...
Paul, there's South American, North American, there's all the World Cups this weekend. So
and under
you'll be amazed. Under
19,
19, under 17, yeah. The first game is AFC Wimbledon against Cambridge United. AFC Wimbledon haven't won in 19 games. I can't believe they're favourites.
I know that they're having a shocking time. Cambridge themselves away from home are not that strong, but you just sort of feel that if AFC don't start winning a game soon, that they could get themselves. They're going to go down. I fancy them this time round. They took the lead the other day, but Cambridge, funny side, they've gone off the boil. I can see this being either a home win or a draw. I just don't fancy Cambridge. Yeah,
the only thing is I looked at Cambridge's lost away. They've played all the decent teams. That's the only thing. And we got a South African boy that's playing for AFC Wimbledon.
Who's that?
Ethan Chislett, Donovan's
son.
Yeah. So he was
Gorgeous's grandson.
Gorgeous's grandson. Yeah. So he scored a couple of goals and he's been dropped in and out. So I've always followed them, but you can't win in 19. Crikey, I can't be with them. Accrington Stanley, capital of the Lancashire textile industry, hosting Gillingham. Yeah. How do you see that going?
Yeah, Gillingham were having a terrible run, but obviously they pulled themselves up a little bit with, under new manager. But Accrington are strong at home. I think they'll start as favourites.
Yeah, and the guy that died the other day, the Australian legend, that was his team. Accrington Stanley, Shane Warne, he played for the club team. Bumble got him a job. Unbeaten in 9, I couldn't believe the size of him.
He played soccer, Shane Warne?
No, but he played cricket. They used to play he was 18-year-old, played for Accrington club team.
Oh.
That's how I got to know them. But I agree, Steve, 6 wins, 3 draws at home. Accrington should be too good. Yeah. Now, Charlton Athletic, in and out team, but they should be too good for Doncaster, surely, Steve?
They're struggling now.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, Johnny Jackson, who took over full-time, probably a little disappointed with the run they've had recently. Yeah. But Doncaster can't win. They're rock bottom, and you fancy them, going back down again. I fancy Charlton to be too strong there.
Yeah.
They conceded 45 goals. They're minus 45, Doncaster. That's bad.
They lost 8 of the last night at home. But Charlton have lost 4 at home, away from home, so you never know. But it should be Charlton. The next game should be a tight game, Steve. Ipswich Town against Plymouth Argyle.
Yeah, it's interesting that the odds are showing Ipswich as clear favourites, but Plymouth are on a good run, 5 wins in a row, sitting 4th in the table, score a lot of goals away from home. Ipswich draw too many for me. I fancy, of the two, I prefer Plymouth rather than Ipswich.
What colour do they play in?
They're the Green Army.
That's right. Very good, Stevie.
I think them and Forest Green are one of the only couple that play in green.
No one else plays in green.
Ipswich, the guy that's taken over, he was on the bench at Man United. That I think is the Irishman. But they don't get beat at home too often, Ipswich. I don't see them getting beat, but I agree. The betting is way out. Now, Steve, somehow I think Sheffield Wednesday are your nap of the weekend in League One.
Yeah, Wednesday should be too strong. They've dropped a few points. They're there or thereabouts, and they've got very bad in the middle. They should be definitely holding a playoff place. So I fancy them to be too strong. Yeah,
I agree. 7 wins of the last night at home. They should be too good. And last but not least, Shrewsbury Town against Lincoln City.
Yeah, Lincoln have been very inconsistent. They had a decent run a little while ago, and they're probably safe enough. But Shrewsbury are getting a bit stronger. They've got this young player Udo scored a lot of goals for them. I fancy Shrewsbury at home to be a little bit too strong.
Yeah, he's a Nigerian youngster, isn't he?
Yeah.
I see they beat.
Scored a lot of goals.
Yeah, they beat Rotherham 3-0 away. But when I looked at that, Rotherham had a player sent off early. So.
But even so.
Yeah, 3-0 is a good result. Steve, pressure time again. I know we fell in a hole last week.
Yeah, shocking.
You know, who you on this week, Steve? Who's your best bet?
Well, I think Sheffield Wednesday will be too strong. I think they'll win. And my value bet, even though I'm not sure they'll win, but I think with the odds, I think Plymouth Argyle, fourth in the table, 5 wins in a row. I think it's, I think those are very good odds. If they were to win, I think someone could do very well there.
Yeah. All right, Steve.
Thanks, Stevie.
Steve, you've got another 10 days to sweat off last one standing, so get studying. Speak to your right-hand man, Mark Abood, and come with a tag team deal.
And please don't bug Spurs up.
Yeah, don't ruin Spurs' chances. But Steve, thanks very much, and we'll speak to you soon.
Pleasure.
All the best.
Talk to you next week.
Thank you
Bye.
very much.
Bye.
Right, but let's go on.
International.
Paul,
There's games on Friday. So,
all right, let's look at the games on Friday. 8-10 Norway against Slovakia.
Yeah, I like Norway. Haaland's apparently in the squad. I don't know if he's going to start or not. But they've got Odegaard.
Has he been at?
Yeah, he came off the bench the other day and scored for Dortmund. Yeah, they drew 1-1, but he came off the bench.
Any idea how his year's going?
Paul, he's been struggling with injury.
Is it? So you can't tell.
You can't really tell. But Norway, a lot of good young players, Paul.
Yeah.
But Slovakia, you just don't know. But 8-10 Norway. I think there's goals in that game, Paul.
Okay.
But that would be but I don't see Norway getting beat. Now, Romania's a great price, Paul. They've had
they're favourite.
Yeah, Greece, very tactical team, give nothing away. 17-10 Romania, Paul. It's hard with the friendlies because you just don't know.
Yeah.
Are they going to play youngsters until you really see the team? But I like Romania. Paul, France 1-3, the Ivory Coast. They've got plenty of players. Eric Bailly is supposed to be playing at the back. But France, you just don't know the team. But they've got so many players, Paul. Pogba's there, Mbappe's there. They should win, Paul, 1-3. But you never know what the French do. But they've got such a good squad, they should be too good. Paul, I like Finland. They're at home.
Yeah, see, it's your best
13-10
bet.
is my best bet, Paul. They've got Timo Pukki up front with another good young striker. Iceland have gone off the ball, Paul. All the sons have all gone missing. I think the fathers are now playing, but good Johnson and all those guys. Paul, they're playing at home, so 13-10 is my best bet, Finland. And Croatia, Paul, I had a look at the squad. Modric is there.
Is it getting any younger?
No, it's not, Paul, but they still got a lot of top players, Paul. So I think 5-10. But they're playing in Saudi Arabia, so that's the only thing. It does level the playing fields. But, Paul, Croatia are a good team.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
The second page, we go on when the guys bring it up. Republic of Ireland against Belgium. Paul, I saw the Republic of Ireland team. All their main players aren't playing.
Ireland?
Ireland haven't got too many main players. They've got their best squad. Listen to Kelleher, the Liverpool
Lafferty
goalkeeper.
play for?
Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland.
No, they're not playing. But, Paul, I think there's goals. Belgium, when you see the Courtois not playing, De Bruyne is not playing.
Is Lukaku?
No, I think Lukaku's not playing. Benteke's in the squad. They've rested. I think the guys, what he's done is all the teams in the European Champions League and all that going forward, he's left them out. Let the clubs have a break with them.
Who's the boss now at Belgium?
It's Roberto Martinez. He's still in charge. So he's done a good job, Paul.
Yeah.
They should win, but I've thrown the drawing with exotics.
How are they rated worldwide?
I think they were number one at one stage.
They were one at one stage,
but
correct.
after the Euros, I think they dropped a bit. But
Good team.
Good team, Paul. A lot of top players. Paul, England, Switzerland will be a humdinger. Switzerland have always been a thorn in England's side. I think the draw's a big player.
8-10 to win.
You just don't know. But England at Wembley don't get beat too often.
Is it at Wembley?
It's at Wembley. So
they've got many strikers they can call.
They're good going forward at the back.
At the back,
they'll play Maguire.
Yeah.
But they've got the young guy. Was it Ben Gibson from Arsenal? I think he'll come into the team. Arsenal centre half. He's a good Ben White. Sorry,
Ben White. Yeah, sure. You had me there.
Yeah, Ben Gibson. He went to Middlesbrough, but
Maguire's going to play.
He'll play, Paul.
Ralph. That's Ralph from over 35. Yeah.
Ralph Thomas. Yeah.
Paul.
8-10 England. A lot of people will be on them, but Switzerland will give them a game. The next two look certainties, Paul. Spain to beat Albania, Germany to beat Israel, and the Netherlands, Denmark. Paul, Denmark, Eriksen's back. I had a look at the squad. He's back, Christian Eriksen. He's in the squad. I think they'll give them a game, Paul. They were unlucky in the Euros. Remember, England beat them in extra time with that dubious penalty. Raheem Sterling died and Kane scored off the rebound. I think this is a tight game, Paul. I think that Denmark can avoid defeat there. I'm not really, haven't been impressed with the Netherlands.
Okay,
So,
I thought they were on the mend as a team, you know, but
Yeah, Van Gaal's there, Paul.
Yeah.
When Koeman was there, they loved him, but Van Gaal, different story.
Different
But,
story, yeah.
They
Okay.
play Germany on Tuesday, so I think he'll have one mind on that. But
Yeah.
I think a draw's written all over that game.
okay. Let's look at the
Paul,
World Club playoffs.
Oof, Paul, this is all games are on Friday. There's going to be some humdingers here, Paul. Now, Congo didn't qualify for the AFCON. You know, Morocco did. They got to the quarterfinals. Paul, I think this has got draw written over. You know, these
Okay.
North African teams, they can go there and park the bus.
Yeah.
Congo, if they can't get into the AFCON finals, Paul, then there's something wrong. But at home, they'll put up a battle. I think the draw is written all over that. Now I think Cameroon will beat Algeria. Algeria will woeful. They didn't get out
Yeah.
the group stage in the AFCON.
And they're better than that, Budge.
Yeah, they are better than that. You know, Moritz is in the squad. He should be playing.
Morris.
Yeah, they've got some players, Paul, but on what we saw they played in Cameroon, they were woeful.
Yeah.
But Cameroon have got to go for it, Paul.
Yeah, correct.
You know, win and draw Cameroon for me there. Now, I was impressed with Tunisia.
Mali Soul.
Yeah, Mali Soul, yeah. Paul, they were disappointing. They got knocked out by, I think it was Equatorial Guinea on penalties. At home, they don't get beat too often, Paul. A lot of their players play in France.
How good
But-
Tunisia.
Yeah, Tunisia, Paul, they knocked out Nigeria. So, but you look at the
They're
players.
hard games, these.
They're hard games, Paul, and they'll be tied nothing away. Egypt, Senegal, that was
Final.
the AFCON final.
That was
Went
the
to
final.
penalties.
Would a player like Salah come over?
He's playing, they're all playing. Paul, whoever wins these games, they play Friday, Tuesday, and then you're in the World Cup finals. So there's no other games after this, home and away, so they're all
these
there.
are critical.
Mane's there, they'll all be there, but I don't
The
see...
final was 1-0, eh?
A 0-0 went to penalties.
Penalties.
Mane scored the winner. But Senegal, I don't see getting beat, Paul. 19-10 the draw. Now, I think Nigeria will beat Ghana. Remember, Ghana robbed us with that dubious penalty.
Ghana with the wind.
Ghana with the win. They're not the same team they were, Paul. If ever there's I like 18-10, I'll be having a few rand. It's not in our bets, Paul. I like Nigeria. They were woeful in that against Tunisia. They were cock a hoop. But I like Nigeria.
All right, Budge, let's go and have a look at the pools.
Okay, we now go over for our soccer exotics for the weekend, and we start with an international soccer six with 2 American games thrown in. I'm bankering Croatia to beat Slovenia, Finland to beat Iceland. I don't see England losing at home to Switzerland. I'm looking for the upset in Netherlands versus Denmark, so I'm going the field. 2 MLS games. I'm going Charlotte to avoid defeat at home against Cincinnati, and I'm going the field in the Sporting Kansas City Real Salt Lake Clash 2-1-6. On to the English Soccer 6, where I'm bankering Accrington Stanley to beat Gillingham. I'm going the field in the AFC Wimbledon Cambridge United game. I'm going Charlton Athletic win and draw at Doncaster Rovers. Ipswich Town to avoid defeat against Plymouth Argyle. I'm bankering Sheffield Wednesday to beat Cheltenham Town, and I'm going the field in the Shrewsbury Town Lincoln City match 2-1-6. On to the Soccer 10, I'm banking Croatia to beat Slovenia. I'm going the field in the Coleraine Glenavon and Den Bosch VVV Venlo matches. I'm bankering Finland to beat Iceland, the Faroe Islands to win in Gibraltar. On to the second page, I'm going Belgium to avoid defeat against the Republic of Ireland, as well as England, win and draw at home against Switzerland. I'm banking Spain to beat Albania and Germany to beat Israel, and I'm going the field in the Netherlands versus Denmark fixture 2-1-6. On to the Soccer 13, I'm going England, win and draw at home against Switzerland. I'm going Denmark, win and draw in the Netherlands. I'm banking Finland to beat Iceland, Belgium to avoid defeat in the Republic of Ireland. I'm going for Spain to beat Albania, the Germans to be too strong for Israel. Ipswich Town win and draw at home against Plymouth Argyle. On to the second page, I'm banking Accrington Stanley to beat Gillingham, Cambridge United win and draw at AFC Wimbledon. I don't see Charlton Athletic losing at Doncaster Rovers. I'm banking Sheffield Wednesday to beat Cheltenham Town. I'm going Shrewsbury Town to avoid defeat at home against Lincoln City, because I'm banking Port Vale to be too good for Sutton United 2-50.
Port Vale's most famous supporter.
Yeah, that was the singer, Robin Williams.
Robbie
Williams.
Robbie
yeah.
Williams,
Sutton
correct.
United, part owner, South African.
Yes, that's right. They play soon.
Yeah.
They're playing in the
They're
final.
playing that cup final. That's when we're going to interview your mate.
That's right. We're
Okay.
speaking to him. Correct. He's a legendary supporter there at Sutton.
Okay.
I think they got Rotherham.
Rotherham in the final at Wembley.
Rotherham league leaders.
Yeah, League One.
Yeah. Okay, Budge, this is the
Yes,
best part.
Budgie's bets. Yep, Paul. Very limited with what we can do this weekend, because A lot of big games on tonight. But the first one is our international quartet. I'm going for Finland to win. I'm going Germany and Spain to both win by more than 2
More
goals.
than 2.
Yeah, so they've got to win 3-0, 4-1, whatever. I think they'll maul both Israel and Albania. And I'm going Denmark to win or draw against the Netherlands. I've been really impressed with the Denmark team, 3,600 to 200.
Okay, tough bet.
Yeah, difficult, Paul, with what we've got available,
Yeah,
but what can we
of
do?
course.
The English League One quad, I'm going Sheffield Wednesday to beat Cheltenham by more than 1 goal. I'm going Cambridge United, win or draw against AFC Wimbledon, and over 2.5 goals in the Accrington Gillingham and Shrewsbury Lincoln City matches, 3,000 to 200. Our both teams to score sides are Norway, Slovakia, Romania, Greece, Iceland, Belgium. It's Ireland, Belgium, apologies.
Belgium,
And the Netherlands, Denmark, 3,000 to 200. Our team goals only, I'm going Norway and Finland to score over 1.5 goals. And Germany and Spain to score over 2.5 goals, 2,700 to 200. Now the next one is both teams to score and totals. I'm going Germany against Israel and Spain against Albania, over 2.5 goals, and both teams to score no. So that's Germany and Spain to win 3-0, 4-0, etc. And then in the Ireland-Belgium game, I'm going over 2.5 goals, and both teams to score yes.
Okay.
2,800 to, and I think Ireland will score.
Collis
King 6 or Nixa. I'm going Croatia to beat Slovenia, Finland to beat Iceland, Germany to beat Israel, Spain to beat Albania, Sheffield Wednesday to beat Cheltenham, and Exeter City to beat Stevenage. 2,200
Exeter, Stevenage.
Stevenage Borough. Now, which famous Man United player won the treble, managed Stevenage? I think he's the oldest player to score in the Premiership.
Well, you got me on that one.
Played for Tottenham, centre forward.
Sheringham.
Teddy Sheringham. Yeah.
Teddy Sheringham,
And he was complaining he had 7 balls and he had to pump them up before they trained. So he wasn't there too long. He was at Stevenage
He's
Borough.
got 7 million in his account from
Sure, yeah.
But sure, that's it. And again, just to reiterate, last one standing starts on the 2nd. 108 people going through, including those Muppets in the UK, and 12 girls. So it's looking good. Until next time, stay on side.